So guys, I played Divinity Original Sin 2, and basically, I got my ass kicked, and I don't know what the fuck's going on. With the announcement of Baldurs Gate 3 back in summer 2019, my mind started to think about those classic, more hardcore types of RPGs, and I began heavily searching for one of them to play online. I haven't thought about these types of games in years, so I really had no idea what to expect. I wanted to get my mind ready for Baldurs Gate 3 because I know it's going to be a hit. Nowadays, these types of hardcore RPGs are obviously not as mainstream as like COD or Destiny, and they are not as heavily sought after like other RPGs such as Skyrim or The Witcher. Now, all of those types of games are great in their own ways, but hardcore classic types of RPGs are very unique and offer totally different experiences than most other genres. The reason they are not as mainstream is, well, mainly because more than half the population of gamers probably can't even understand these games, and the other half don't have the time or interest in trying to understand. But there's still a large niche crowd of badass gamers who love to lose themselves in a truly complex, amazing type of game, the hardcore classic RPG genre. And hopefully more people come over to this genre with the release of Baldurs Gate 3, because I do think it is truly amazing. So let's talk about Divinity Original Sin 2, or DOS 2 as I'm going to say in this video to save time. I decided to buy DOS 2 because the reviews are actually outstanding, it's a more modern game, and the company who is making Baldurs Gate 3 actually made Divinity Original Sin 2 as well, so I wanted to scope them out. They are called Larian Studios. Now, I also bought Baldurs Gate 2 Enhanced Edition for PC. This game is 20 years old, guys, but it is known as possibly the best, most influential classic hardcore RPG of all time. So I had to make sure that if I'm getting the more modern feel with DOS 2, that I also would go back to the roots of the genre after with Baldurs Gate 2. I am playing DOS 2 on my PlayStation, for I sought after a more relaxed, laid-back experience. So yeah, basically I was being lazy and didn't want to have to sit up to use my mouse and keyboard. After about 6 hours of play, 2 or 3 of them being on characters I deleted and started over, the game runs absolutely great on the PlayStation, no complaints at all in terms of the FPS feel or the graphics or the animations, etc. So after 5 or 6 hours of play, how do I feel about the game? Well, I still have absolutely no idea what the hell I am doing. That could be a bad thing for a game, but nope, it's the opposite in this case. I don't know what I am doing, but I can see the overall picture. I can see that even though I am really confused and horrible at the game, it is well designed, and once I put the time into actually understanding, it will all be worth it. You know how they say all good things never come easy? Well, yeah, that's how I feel about hardcore RPGs. Most people won't or can't play them, and the few who actually do get a satisfaction and an experience that most other gamers will never get. Most people just want to hit the R1 button to shoot and jump with X, and that's the entire game for you. Nothing wrong with that though, because I play those games all the time, but if you don't open yourself up to other game genres, you are missing out on a plethora, is that the right word? Of amazing experiences, or maybe people are just enjoying RL more. Classic RPGs do take up a lot of time. After watching YouTube videos for many hours on character creation, and then deleting 2 characters that I already created and played each for an hour or so, I finally decided on my character's final look and starting attributes. I decided to start off as an Inquisitor. Basically, I hope to become a 2-handed sword-wielding necromancer as the game goes on, but really who knows what the hell I'll turn into, because I'm sure I'll choose the wrong path. From what I hear, you are given chances to respec, and also your starting attributes don't have to be what you ultimately become. The first scene of the game takes place on a boat and kind of gives you a little introduction into the game as to how the combat works on a really simple level. I won all of my battles on the ship, but when I hit mainland, I have yet to win an important battle so far. The ship also lets you see how important dialogue is in this game. The dialogue is actually crazy, guys. Of course, if you played some other classic hardcore RPGs, you would already know what true dialogue really is, but it's still amazing how you can choose like 4 different replies to a person, all of them resulting in the same outcome, but the 5th reply ends up leaving someone dead or something like that. I found myself going back to old save points multiple times so I could try out each of the responses in the dialogue and see what happens. Many games claim your choices matter, but really they don't change much. In DOS 2, I turned in a quest which turned into a 10-man mini-war and resulted in the death of me and my party members, and when I reloaded from an earlier save point, I answered the question slightly differently, and all the people present walked away happy. For those of you who don't know, you can have a party of up to 4 characters at a time. You control all 4 of them when in combat, and when you're just walking around, the other 3 follow you. Or you can have 3 actual friends join and fill up the party. Well, another quest I was on, I had my main custom character take lead for talking to this one NPC guy, and well, after the conversation, everyone wasn't really happy, but we were all content and we moved on. I retried that same quest on an earlier save point, but this time I had my newest party member, an elf rogue, talk to the NPC, and well, it resulted in intestines being spilled all over the ground. This is exciting, man, to really feel your choices matter. It makes the dialogue very fun, and the mystery of the game is intense. Also, to experience the narrator in the dialogue is really awesome as well. I really haven't experienced that before.
With the other, then you hear him yelp about the master.
It adds to the overall role-playing experience and makes you feel really immersed in the game. The narrator's voice is also really awesome. I'd love him to tell me an epic story around a campfire. So yeah, let's talk about the combat now, guys. It's one of the main reasons I almost didn't get this game, but it's also one of the main reasons why I'm going to continue to play it. Turn-based combat is something I never got into, and frankly, I just didn't ever want to get into. I always wanted to be in the action, making real-time last-second decisions, controlling every swing of the sword, mastering my timing for dodging incoming attacks. Basically, I love Dark Souls. I always thought turn-based combat looked boring and stupid, really. It's just not how fights happen, and I always thought of myself as the aggressive guy ready to take down the enemies with intense, fast-paced skill. Well, guys, it turns out that turn-based combat takes just as much, if not more skill than real-time combat. It's a different skill, of course. It's not as reliant as much on eye-hand coordination, but more so on your brain, your ability to form a strategy, to heavily rely on your chosen tactics, and to be able to adapt and succeed over the ever-changing situations that combat puts forth. It's actually really challenging, and I really love challenging games. I haven't played the game much. I'm only, like I said, 5 or 6 hours in, but the bigger, more important combat situations that I have been in, I've gotten my ass kicked many times. Unlike some other games, though, I couldn't be more excited to have to come back and learn from my mistakes and try to form a new strategy to win the fight. Now, DOS 2 makes the combat even more amazing by allowing you to win fights that you probably shouldn't be winning, letting you use the environment to your advantage. So aside from your party member skills, you have the option to pick up and drop objects, maybe throw a candle into an oil puddle, etc. There's so many ways to approach fights, and I'm sure no one typically will share the same exact experience as another player. So yeah, guys, basically I'm really enjoying the turn-based combat, and I'm really happy that I didn't remain closed-minded about it like I was before. People who master this type of combat are true tacticians, and I would want them on my team even in games where the combat is fast-paced real-time. They got skills, man. It's really cool. Now, I did learn fast, guys, that I probably should save more often, considering I probably lost 90% of the important battles that I was in, which then forced me to have to reload at a much earlier point in the game. Way earlier than I would have preferred. But whose fault is that, guys? Yep, it's mine. I gotta hit that quick save a lot more often. So in the game now, I have formed a party of 4 members. I'm not sure if the combination is any good. I have myself as an Inquisitor. I picked up a really awesome dwarf named Beast. We both really hit it off in our conversation, so I was like, hell yeah, when the option popped up to ask if he wanted to join my party. The other 2 party members are, one, a spicy, sassy elf rogue, she's pretty hot, and a cool nature crossbow wayfarer dude named Ifan, or something like that, I can't remember. I love being able to control any one of the party members when I want, when I'm moving, especially when it comes to dialogue. My dwarf guy, Beast, seems to really hit it off with people a lot, and it's quite funny to watch and listen to. I also find myself memorizing names of NPC characters. I typically would never do that in any other game, but in DOS 2, I wanted to remember these character names so when I came across them again in the future, I can have a good dialogue. It just shows you how good this game really is at getting you involved in the world. DOS 2 is a really complex game, at least for a classic hardcore RPG noob like myself. But it's a great thing, in my opinion, to have in a game. I love complex games. It shows how much substance and depth this game truly has. The only bad experience I have got so far is when I went near a couple guards and they decided to randomly shoot an arrow into the black cat that I have befriended, and it's also been following me for quite some time now. Then to make it even better, Larian Studios decided to put a giant pool of blood where my cat died, making me cry even more. So that's it, guys. I'm really enjoying this game so far, and I'm excited to be a part of a new, truly amazing genre of games. Larian seems like a solid company, so Baldurs Gate 3 should be on point. I'm not going to cover this game in depth or anything, because it is a couple years old, but I will do more reviews and maybe some comedy videos on it, so stay tuned. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. As always, it really is a big help to my videos. If you guys are new to the channel, I do comedy videos, game reviews, tutorials, and also live streams, so there's probably something for you, so make sure to join the Wolf Pack. I'm really excited about DOS 2, guys. What other classic RPGs have you played or do you recommend to other players? I'll see you guys on the next one.
I'm about to kill it, gotta be the kid, I gotta be the villain. I be on the radar, now I gotta do it. I'm a warrior, I'm coming with the truth. So shit, yeah, that's how we march.